Welcome back to Coffee Over Apples. My name is Steph. We have something really important that we need to talk about. So you want to read ARCs, but you're not sure what's expected of you. These are 8 tips that by the end of this video, you're going to make sure that you don't make any of these mistakes if in case you are accepted for an ARC. By the way, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Steph. If you like this content, consider becoming a channel member to get access to my Discord, where I run a book club called the Annotation Station, where we read to stay informed. And also, if you'd like to join the sci-fi book club, Interstellar Book Club, links below. I made these mistakes when I first started being a book influencer about 5 years ago, and I learned about them the hard way. I think this is something that not enough people are aware of. There's a lot of decorum that is expected of you to maintain. I would hate to see you make these mistakes. Though I'll probably never know, but just by not hearing back from certain publishers or authors or companies or whatever the case is, I think it's safe to assume that I made these mistakes. When you are accepted and approved to promote an advanced reader copy. eARC is just an electronic version, so whether you get this on NetGalley or whether you are actually given a physical ARC. So what is an ARC? An ARC looks like this. It is a book that is given to someone with a book reviewing platform, and once you are accepted for an ARC, you are essentially part of the promotional team for this book. So if you're given a physical ARC, it'll look something like this. It'll have this little bubble or something written on it that says advanced reader copy, and you'll notice right above it, it says not for sale. This is an uncorrected proof. An uncorrected proof means that there might be mistakes in here. It could be in the form of typos, in formatting. I've seen it to the point in ARCs where it's like chapters are accidentally mixed around, or something is misprinted, or a lot of times there's complete sentences or even chapters that are not in the final published version. You need to be aware of these things because you need to be very careful about how you talk about them. Number one problem that we need to start with is, you see that thing right there where it says not for sale? Do not sell your ARCs. It is a huge problem that I have seen of influencers pushing to get ARCs from very popular authors or publishers or books that they know are going to be probably worth a pretty penny, because to say that you got an ARC of a really popular author, lots of people will pay big money in order to be able to get their hands on either an advanced copy to read or to add to their collection. And I need you to know that if you sell that ARC, you are breaching the trust of the publisher. They are giving you product in place of payment in exchange for the services of you being part of the promotional team. By you selling it, you are breaking the trust of the publisher. They gave that to you under the assumption that you are not going to sell it, that you are actually going to follow the rules that are printed on the book. Many of them will say not for redistribution. Number 2, keep it positive. Think about it as if you are a customer service worker, like you are a customer service person. You are the front-facing person for this product. Therefore, you have to keep it positive. They are sending this to you because they recognize that your voice has influencer. Therefore, if you say anything negative, people who consume your content will listen to you, and there's a chance that they will not invest in that product. Now, that doesn't mean that if you don't like it, or you think that you're not the person for this, that you should lie. That is not what I'm telling you to do. Because the initial sales of a book are really going to make or break an author a lot of times, especially if they're a smaller author. So just be very conscious of the influence that you have. Now, let's say you read it. It's happened to me before. I read a book and I either DNF'd it, or I decided that, you know what, I don't think that I really enjoyed this as much as I would have liked to, where I can give a full rave review about it. What do? There's a couple options. If it's not something where I don't feel uncomfortable promoting it, like it's not anything egregious, where I would say like my viewers might lose trust in me and faith in me if I'm telling them this book is great, go read it, and I actually didn't like it. Like that, I'm not going to lie to my viewership. but you can still make promotional content. Promotional content basically means that you are making something that is coming out as part of the promotion of this, but you do not have to state, hey, I really enjoyed this, or here's why I loved it. You don't have to say that you liked it. You don't have to say that you enjoyed the whole thing. What you might do is choose one or two small things. Say, hey, if you're the person who likes this movie or other book or other media content, maybe this book is for you. So make a suggestion as to who you think would enjoy this content, and don't specifically say that you loved it if you really didn't. Don't lie to your viewership. Choose a few things that are positive and just kind of give a suggestion of who you think this book is for, and try to talk about it in a way where you can say, if any of that sounds interesting to you, then maybe you want to pick this up. If it's really bad to the point where you think that you just cannot give it anything positive to say, like it's might be, for me, if it's something that I would naturally give a 1 star, I would actually reach back out to the publisher and say, hey, I DNF'd this, I didn't like this because XYZ, and I would let them know, but that it wasn't for me, and then talk it through with the publisher that way. Be timely with your posts and emails, guys. You have to. When they send you these things, usually on the book somewhere, it'll say when is the publishing date. Like this one says March 25th of 2025. So it gives you the information of when the books come out. So please make sure that you are posting your material timely. If you're on a book tour, you better post the day of the book tour, or at least on pub day. Make sure that you respond to your emails if you're getting an email from a publisher within 24 to 48 hours. These are all demonstrations of being responsible with your content, because running an influencer media channel is like running a small business. Number 4 is remember who you're representing. You're not just representing yourself. When you agree to take on an arc and promote it, you're actually representing the publisher. And so the things that you say and do could potentially impact them. And so just be very conscious of that. Number 5, remember pub day. Remember pub day. Remember pub day. Pub day is the day that the book is published. Number 6, it's okay to say no. There are some times where I am so overwhelmed with arcs, like now, actually, I have a lot of arcs right now. So if anyone was to send me an arc right now, it would have to be something that I get to in the summertime, because my TBR is just really full with a lot of arcs that I took in the spring. That's okay. I'm going to be transparent about it. So if someone reaches out to me to say, hey, I have this arc for you, I would say, hey, yeah, I'm interested in reviewing that for you. Just I need to be aware, is there a deadline? Is there a time limit? Because I will not be able to get to it until XYZ date. And then they will say yay or nay. Don't say yes to a book if you don't think you're going to like it, okay? They're sending you a product in exchange for a service. Show that you can be responsible. There's been times where publishers have said, hey, here's a book that we want you to promote. And I might say, I'm sorry, I don't think that I'm the audience for this. As much as I appreciate you taking the time to scout me out and think that I would be helpful to your promotions for this material, I just think that this is not something that I would be best suited for. Sometimes I might suggest, like, hey, if you're looking for someone, I can give you some recommendations of other influencers or people that I work with that might be a good fit for this material. Or I would say, these are some other kinds of content that I'm interested in. If you have anything like this, please feel free to send it my way. I mean, worst case is you don't hear from them again, but putting yourself through having to stick to a deadline and reading a book that you know you're not going to enjoy just to get it for free doesn't make sense. So please don't do that. I made the horrible mistake when I first started of just saying yes to whatever arcs I got and not actually taking the time to do the research as to whether I was going to be a good fit for that. So please don't do it. Also, I made a horrible mistake of talking negatively about books that I was given for promotion, and I didn't understand the ramifications. And so I made those mistakes. And so consider this a public apology if any of those people, which are probably not watching this because this was like years and years ago at this point. These are things that nobody told me. And afterwards, looking back in retrospect, there's something I'm missing here. Okay, I'm going to show you something. You may not be able to see it because the wording is really tiny, but right by my pinky right there, you may be able to see that it says uncorrected proof. The things in here might change by the time it is finally published in a finished copy. Do not quote or promote any pictures of any of the sentences in this book that is from an uncorrected proof without contacting the publisher. Because if you say a quote that is then later taken out of the final edit, you'll be misquoting. So you never know what the ramifications of that line are on the greater story, because again, there are still changes being made up until the final printing. Do not ever spoil anything before pub day, because again, you will be breaking the trust of the publisher who is giving this to you in good faith. Number 8, and my last piece of advice, is be nice to small authors, publishers, and indie authors. If they are a small publisher or a small author, your words are going to have a much bigger impact, than if it was a big publisher. Because if it's a big publisher, you're just one small fish in a giant pond. But if it's a small publisher or a small indie author, you might be like half the pond. You might be the pond. I don't know. We don't know how much they were able to afford in copies to give out, or what their budget is for marketing, but we know it's probably a much bigger chunk than versus if it was one of the major 5 publishers. So just be careful. Be careful what you say, especially if it is a marginalized author, even more of an influence. So just be conscious of the words that you choose, because words do matter. If you found any of this helpful, or if you have any other advice that I may not have thought of as far as ARC reviews and building a rapport with publishers, please drop it in the comments, because I would love to hear it. Anyway, I post videos whenever creativity strikes. Thanks for watching. Bye!
Mr. Wonka worked the factory. In your wildest wild